Great Life Coaching here. Dragon 6 Golf. I'm cooking dinner tonight. Let's check it out. Alright, so dinner is gonna be Brussels sprouts, corn, ham, and for dessert, we get a patty pie. Yeah, alright, so here's the ham. It's a boneless Black Forest honey ham, courtesy of my niece Shishi. Now the instructions say to set the oven for 325. I'll do that now. 25. Okay, the oven's preheating. It says remove all packaging. And let's see, how much do we cook it? Okay, 13 to 15 minutes per pound is 5 pounds, so that's what, hour and 15 minutes. Alright, so this is my first time doing a voiceover. Welcome to my first video like this. The items that you see are all store-bought, ready to go, so it's nothing too serious. And in this video, I'm doing this to introduce something that fathers and dads can do. And it's probably something a lot of men struggle with, including myself, is picking up the slack. What does that mean? Simply put, that's when you can do something for your family. Cooking dinner, breakfast, laundry, you know, stuff that, household stuff that's not just for women. So it's pretty easy, just wrap the ham and stick it in the oven. Not too bad. But when you do stuff like this, it shows your children, if you have them, that cooking is not just one person's job. It can be multiple people. And if they stand there and watch you, it's a good way for them to learn as well. Right here, I'm gonna put the water on and just boil. Let the water, not boil, bring it to a good heat before I put the corn in. I bought these Brussels sprouts today, so they're still frozen. So they wouldn't cut right, so I had to put it in the microwave for a little bit for a defrost, but I was able to cut after that point. So man, this is to you. We don't live in the 1950s anymore. We're not the sole breadwinners, and marriage is something that is shared. And when I mean shared, I mean responsibility shared. So nowadays, just to get by, most people live with a 2-income family, which means that if you're working, your spouse is working. So there's no more like you're home all day, so you should be doing the stuff at home. And even if they are, you can still do this stuff. Don't be old-fashioned. Now this that I'm doing is planned. I told my wife about it because I didn't want to step on her toes in case she had something else planned for dinner. But she was actually pretty happy that I was making dinner. I was actually pretty happy myself that I was able to please her in this way. And actually, as I'm making dinner right now, my wife and my daughter are sitting on the couch in the living room watching TV, enjoying themselves. Also, I don't show this in the video, but when I'm finished with the dish, I turn around, put it in the sink, and I wash it right away. Here I'm melting butter, and I'm going to add garlic powder to it later to add to the Brussels sprouts as I bake them in the oven. So to find recipes, I just went to Google, typed in Brussels sprouts, bunch of recipes came up, so I just went through them and I picked kind of the easiest one. This one is butter garlic roasted Brussels sprouts, and gives you the directions, prep time, everything you need. It's not really too bad. So while I was making dinner and reading directions and everything, I was also listening to music. I like to listen to music. Gets me through stuff that I really don't enjoy doing, which is I don't enjoy cooking. But I knew it would give my wife a nice break. So I know this is probably not the healthiest meal, but it's a better alternative than going to McDonald's, Jack in the Box, whatever else. I'm not young anymore, and I'm not in the best shape of my life, admittedly. So I'm diabetic, and of course, I'm not, I am overweight. Now, I say this because, yes, it's a better alternative. We could be doing better, but ultimately, it's a good way to teach your kids that McDonald's and all these other places, they're not necessary. You can do things at home. You can make things at home. And not to mention that we do have a homestead, so I have veggies and stuff we could pick in the back. We do grow Brussels sprouts. However, with the season being unusually warm, we didn't get a good supply of Brussels sprouts this year. So I put this above the ham for now. It takes a while for them to roast, and when I say roast, I mean get a little brown on them, and it takes a little bit of time. Now this is for the corn. I'm putting salt in the corn because it brings out a little bit of sweetness to the corn, more so than normal. And I put some seasoned oil in there, just add some flavor. And there's no measurement to it, just whatever you feel. Now, people say when you do the salt in the water, it should taste like ocean water. So that's a pretty good amount of salt. I'm notorious for checking the stuff I put in the oven, unfortunately. I like to check it, see how it's going, and here it looks good. Make sure it's not burning. It's getting warm in the middle. And I also check the Brussels sprouts while I'm opening the oven door. This is the glaze. You mix that with the liquid. I don't even know what it is. Well, first part's brown sugar. This part's like a bourbon sauce, and you mix it together and stick it in the microwave so that way you can be able to pour it over the ham for a glaze. There's a lot of things we can focus on for mental health. I actually, after making this meal, I said I didn't like to cook. However, I was pleased and happy to myself that I was able to provide this meal for my family. They liked it. They said they liked it, and they did eat it. My daughter really didn't like the Brussels sprouts, but she tore up the corn and the ham. And to see her happy, it really brings joy to my life. Now right here, I'm just separating. It's already pre-cut spiraled ham. I'm separating it so that way when I put the glaze, it doesn't just glaze the top, it also drips into the middle of the ham. Even though the ham is already pre-cooked, it's kind of the big part of it because it stays in the oven for so long. And this is only about a 15-minute, maybe less video. And out of the hour and so, I wasn't really cooking all that much. Now, I put the corn in here. The water is already boiling, so I don't have to leave it in there for too long. If you leave it too long, it's gonna get mushy. I like my corn kind of crunchy. Corn's boiling. Brussels sprouts are almost roasting. You can see they're brown around the edges, so I'm gonna leave it in there. I also turned up the heat. See how it came out with the glaze? It looks delicious, doesn't it? Now here the Brussels sprouts are ready. I take them and put them in a bowl. And the reason why I do this because I'm about to use this pan for my corn. I put the corn on there with some more salted butter just to make it a little bit more, delicious and give it a time for it to stop collecting all the water. Alright, so we're finished. Took about an hour and 15 minutes. Most of it's just time for the ham to cook, but let's take a look at the product. Butter, garlic, roasted Brussels sprouts.